I never thought I'd be the kind of person posting family drama on Reddit, but here I am at 2 a.m., rage typing while eating my third sleeve of Oreos because my sister just detonated a nuclear bomb in our family group chat, and she doesn't even realize it yet. My sister Sarah, 29F, is pregnant with her first child. I, 27F, am genuinely happy for her. Was happy for her. Past tense. Because 3 hours ago, she announced in our family group chat that she and her husband have chosen the perfect name for their daughter, Isadora Rose. The same Isadora Rose I've had written in my journal since I was 15 years old. The same Isadora Rose I've mentioned at every family gathering when the topic of future children came up. The same Isadora Rose that's literally saved in my phone notes, my Pinterest boards, and embroidered on a baby blanket I bought 5 years ago for someday. When I saw her message, I literally dropped my phone. Then I picked it up and called her immediately. The conversation went like this. Me. Sarah, you can't use Isadora Rose. Her. What? Why not? Me. Because that's my baby name. You know this. I've been talking about it for over a decade. Her. Laughing, you're joking, right? Me. No, I'm not joking. You literally commented on my Instagram post 2 years ago, where I mentioned it. Her. Look, I'm sorry, but you can't call dibs on a baby name when you're not even pregnant. Hell, you're not even in a relationship right now. That stung. I've been single for about 8 months after ending a 5-year relationship, partly because my ex didn't want kids, and I do. But that's beside the point. Me. That doesn't matter. You know this name means something to me. Her. You're being childish. It's just a name. Besides, you might not even have a girl when you do have kids, if you have kids. Me. If I have kids. Her. I didn't mean it like that. But come on, be realistic. I'm pregnant now. The baby is coming in 4 months. You might not have kids for years, if at all. Am I supposed to not use a name I love because my little sister called dibs when she was a teenager? I hung up on her. Now, for context, because I know Reddit loves context, the name Isadora Rose isn't random for me. Isadora was my grandmother's middle name, a grandmother who raised me for 3 years when my parents were going through a rough patch. She died when I was 15, right after I told her that someday I'd name my daughter after her. Rose was her favorite flower. She had this incredible rose garden that I helped her tend every summer. The last thing she said to me was, "Promise me you'll have your own garden someday, sweet girl." Roses for your Isadora. Sarah was in college when Grandma died. She visited maybe 3 times during those final years. She didn't help with the garden. She wasn't there for the late-night talks or the Saturday morning pancakes or the way Grandma would braid my hair and tell me stories about her own grandmother Isadora, who immigrated here with nothing but hope and determination. But apparently none of that matters because I'm not currently growing a human. After I hung up, our family group chat exploded. Mom. Girls, please don't fight about this. Dad. Your grandmother would be happy either way. Sarah. Can someone please talk sense into her? She hung up on me for choosing a baby name. My brother Mike. Yo, this is wild. Popcorn. Aunt Linda. Sarah, honey, didn't you always say you wanted to name your daughter Olivia? Thank you, Aunt Linda. Sarah. I changed my mind. Pregnancy hormones, you know? When I heard Isadora at the coffee shop last week, it just felt right. At the coffee shop. She heard it at the coffee shop. Not from the approximately 7,000 times I've mentioned it. Not from the vision board I made at her bachelorette party, where we all shared our hopes and dreams. Not from the conversation we had at Christmas where I literally said, I can't wait to have my little Isadora Rose someday. She heard it from some random barista and decided it felt right. I texted her privately. Me. You heard it at a coffee shop? Are you serious right now? Her. Why does it matter where I heard it? I love the name. It's perfect for our daughter. Me. It's perfect for my daughter. The one I've been dreaming about since I was 15. The one I promised Grandma. Her. You can't promise a dead person a baby name. That's not how promises work. I saw red. Actually, literally saw red because I was so angry I burst a blood vessel in my eye. Yes, I Googled it, and yes, that's a thing that can happen. Me. Wow. Her. Look, I'm trying to be understanding here, but you're being completely unreasonable. It's not like I'm taking something tangible from you. It's a name. There are millions of names. Me. Then pick one of the other millions. Her. No. We've already decided. We've already told David's family. We've already ordered the nursery letters. It's done. Nursery letters. She ordered nursery letters for MY baby name. I left the group chat. Then my phone started blowing up with individual messages. Mom. Sweetheart, I know you're upset, but try to see it from Sarah's perspective. She's hormonal and excited. Dad. Your sister didn't mean to hurt you. Can't you both use the name? Mike. Okay, but she didn't know it was your name though. That's kinda messed up. Aunt Linda. I have Sarah's baby shower gift receipt if you need it. Eyes. My cousin Emma. Girl, I would be livid. That's name theft. Sarah's best friend Jess. Hey, I know this isn't my business, but Sarah asked me to reach out. She's really hurt that you're making her pregnancy about you. Making her pregnancy about me? I congratulated her. I helped plan her gender reveal. I've been to every single appointment she's asked me to attend. I spent $300 on pregnancy books and supplies for her. But sure, I'm making it about me because I don't want her to steal the one name that has deep, personal meaning to me. Here's what really gets me. Sarah has always been like this. Not maliciously, but thoughtlessly. When we were kids, she'd borrow my clothes and return them stained. She'd eat my Halloween candy and say I must have forgotten I already ate it. She dated my high school crush after I specifically told her I liked him, then acted surprised when I was upset, but he asked me out. Was I supposed to say no? My parents always took her side because she was older and more mature. They tell me to be the bigger person, which is ironic because I'm literally 5 inches taller than her. But I digress. The thing is, I've always let it go. Every time. Because that's what you do for family, right? You forgive and forget. You don't make waves. You keep the peace. But this feels different. This feels like the final straw on the camel's back. If the camel was already carrying 17 years of overlooked boundary violations and the straw was actually a steel beam labeled Isadora Rose. After the initial explosion, I did what any rational adult would do. I called my therapist for an emergency session. Thank God for Dr. Martinez and her evening availability. So, she said after I word vomited the entire situation, it sounds like this is about more than just a name. Therapists. They always know. It's about the name, I insisted. Is it though? Or is it about a pattern of your boundaries being dismissed? Damn you, Dr. Martinez, and your reasonably priced insight. She was right, of course. This isn't just about Isadora Rose. It's about Sarah taking my favorite sweater in high school and wearing it to the party I wasn't invited to. It's about her booking her wedding on my college graduation weekend and then being upset when I almost missed it. It's about her adopting a cat and naming it Machi after I showed her pictures of the cat cafe in Tokyo where I met a cat named Machi that I fell in love with and said I'd name my future cat after. Yes, she stole my future cat name too. Machi now lives in her house and responds to the name I chose. Have you told Sarah how her actions make you feel? Dr. Martinez asked. Multiple times. She says I'm being too sensitive. And your parents? They say I need to be more understanding because she's the oldest and life is hard for her. Is life not hard for you? Apparently not hard enough to justify having feelings. Dr. Martinez suggested I write a letter to Sarah explaining my perspective without the heat of the moment. So I did. I spent 2 hours crafting the perfect message, explaining the significance of the name, the pattern of boundary crossing, and how her dismissal of my feelings was hurtful. Sarah's response? A 3-word text. K, still using it. K, still using it. I showed the exchange to my best friend Lucy, who's been watching this family dysfunction unfold for years. You know what you have to do, she said ominously. What? Nuclear option. Lucy, no. Lucy, yes. Use Charlotte. Okay, so here's where things get petty. Charlotte is the name Sarah picked out for her future daughter when SHU was 15. Charlotte Grace. She had it written in fancy calligraphy and framed on her wall. She had a whole Pinterest board dedicated to Charlotte's future nursery. She made us all promise never to use it. Unlike Sarah, we all respected that promise. Even our cousin who had a baby 3 years ago and loved the name Charlotte chose a different name because that's Sarah's name. I can't, I told Lucy. That would be fair? Justified? Exactly what she deserves. Petty. Sometimes petty is the only language people understand. But I didn't want to be petty. I wanted to be the bigger person, height-wise, I already am. So instead, I tried one more time. I called my mom and explained everything, the history with Grandma, the promise, the pattern of Sarah's behavior. Oh, honey, Mom said, I didn't know the name meant that much to you. Finally, understanding, validation, hope. But, she continued, Sarah's already announced it on Facebook. All her friends know. What would people think if she changed it now? What would people think? Of course. Heaven forbid the Facebook audience be confused. What about what I think? I asked. You'll understand when you're pregnant someday. These things happen. Sisters share names all the time. Do they share names that were specifically chosen to honor a deceased grandparent based on a deathbed promise? Don't be dramatic. It wasn't a deathbed promise. She died 2 weeks later. Still. I hung up on my mother. Add it to my tally of family phone hang-ups. Here's what really burns. I've been the good sister my entire life. I didn't complain when Sarah got the bigger room because she was older. I didn't make a fuss when she got a car at 16 and I had to wait until 18 because Sarah needed it more. I smiled through her taking credit for the birthday cake I baked Mom when she forgot. I've been understanding and accommodating and flexible for 27 years. And the one thing I asked for, the one thing that mattered to me more than any room or car or cake, she couldn't give me that. But wait, it gets worse. Yesterday, Sarah posted in our extended family Facebook group, yes, where that family can't wait to meet our little Isadora Rose. Thank you all for the beautiful name suggestions, but we've had our hearts set on this one for years. Years. She's claiming years. The comments started rolling in. Beautiful name. So unique. Isadora Rose is perfect. How did you come up with it? Your grandmother would be so proud. That last one sent me over the edge. I commented. Actually, Grandma would be proud of me since I'm the one who promised her I'd use this name when I was 15. Sarah deleted my comment within minutes. Then she texted me. Can you not? This is supposed to be a happy time for me. Can I not what? Tell the truth. Can you not make everything about you? God. No wonder Brian left. She went there. She actually went there. Brian, my ex, left because we had different life goals. Namely, he decided he never wanted kids after telling me for 5 years that he did. It had nothing to do with me making everything about myself, and everything to do with him being a commitment-phobic man-child who thought playing video games until 3 a.m. was more important than building a future together. But sure, Sarah, make it about my personality flaws. Not like I supported you through your 3 breakups before David, including the one where I literally flew across the country to pick you up after you found out your ex was married. That was low, even for you. I texted back. The truth hurts, she replied. The truth? The truth is that Sarah has always been jealous that I had a closer relationship with Grandma. The truth is that she feels guilty for not being there during those final years. The truth is that she's taking the name as some sort of retroactive claim to a relationship she didn't nurture. But I didn't say any of that. Because despite everything, I'm still trying to be the bigger person, literally and figuratively. Instead, I did something I should have done years ago. I started setting boundaries. I texted the family group chat. I'm taking a break from family events for a while. I need some space to process everything. Please respect my boundaries during this time. The responses were predictable. Mom, don't be silly. Christmas is coming up. Dad, you're overreacting. Mike, damn, she big mad. Sarah, seriously? You're going to miss family events because of a name? I didn't respond. Instead, I did something therapeutic. I went to Grandma's grave. I hadn't been in months, which I felt guilty about. But life gets busy, you know? The headstone was covered in leaves, which I carefully brushed away. Someone, probably Mom, had left fresh roses. "Hey, Grandma," I said, feeling only slightly foolish for talking to a headstone. "So, funny story. Remember when I promised to name my daughter after you? Well, Sarah's stealing the name." "Yeah, the same Sarah who couldn't be bothered to visit you, but somehow showed up for the will reading. That's Sarah." I sat there for an hour, telling her everything. About the fight, about the family taking Sarah's side, about feeling like the crazy one for caring about just a name. As I was leaving, I noticed something I'd never seen before. Carved in small letters at the base of the headstone were the words, "Beloved by all, but especially by her little Rose." That's what Grandma called me, her little Rose. Because I helped with her garden. Because I was the one who stayed. I took a picture and sent it to Sarah with one word. "This." She read it but didn't respond. It's been 3 days now. The family is in full guilt trip mode. I've received 17 texts from Mom about how I'm ruining Sarah's pregnancy joy. 5 calls from Dad about being reasonable. 32 messages from various aunts and uncles with opinions no one asked for. 1 Venmo request from Sarah for emotional damages. Yes, really. 0 apologies. Lucy suggested I make my own announcement. Excited to announce that when I have a daughter, I'll be naming her Sarah out of spite. But I'm not that petty. Yet. My brother Mike, bless his pot-stirring heart, texted me privately. "You know, I always thought it was weird how Sarah suddenly got interested in genealogy last month. She asked Mom for a bunch of Grandma's old stuff." Wait, what? I called Mike immediately. "What do you mean she got interested in genealogy?" "Yeah, she was asking about family names and histories. Mom gave her Grandma's old journal. The one you were supposed to get." The journal. Grandma's journal, where she wrote about her own grandmother Isadora. The journal that was supposed to be mine per Grandma's will, but somehow never made it to me because it was misplaced during the estate settlement. Sarah has the journal? Had. She gave it back to Mom last week. Said she got what she needed from it. I hung up and immediately called Mom. "Is it true Sarah has Grandma's journal?" Had. She was doing research. Research for what? Family history. For the baby. Did she happen to research the name Isadora? Silence. "Mom, she might have seen it mentioned." Might have. Okay, yes, she saw it. She said it was a beautiful family name and she wanted to honor Grandma. By stealing the name, I chose to honor Grandma? She's not stealing. She's sharing the tribute. Sharing the tribute? That's what we're calling this. You're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable? She literally went through Grandma's journal to find my baby name and claim it as her idea. You can't prove that, but I could. Because Sarah, for all her faults, is terrible at covering her tracks. I went to her Instagram and scrolled back to last month. There it was, a picture of her holding Grandma's journal with the caption, "Researching family history for little one." So many beautiful stories to discover. 2 hearts. The date? 2 days before she heard the name at a coffee shop. I screenshotted everything and sent it to the family group chat with one message, for anyone wondering about the timeline. Then I left the chat again. My phone immediately exploded, but I didn't check it. Instead, I did something I should have done days ago. I made an appointment with a lawyer. Not to sue my sister, though the thought crossed my mind, but to ensure that I receive my rightful inheritance. Specifically, Grandma's journal and the other personal items that mysteriously went missing during estate distribution. The lawyer reviewed the will and confirmed what I suspected. Several items specifically left to me were never distributed, including the journal, a rose gold locket with pictures of Isadora, and, ironically, a savings bond specifically earmarked for my little Rose's future children. This is actually quite common in family estates, the lawyer said. Items go missing or get redistributed without proper documentation. We can file a petition to have these items properly distributed according to the will. Do it, I said. While that was processing, I decided to do some investigating of my own. I reached out to my grandmother's elderly sister, Great Aunt Ruth, who lives in Florida. "Oh, honey," she said when I explained the situation, "your grandmother would be rolling in her grave. She specifically told me that journal was for you." She said, "My little Rose understands the importance of family stories. She'll make sure they're remembered." Did she ever mention the name Isadora to you? Mention it? Darling, she talked about it constantly in her final months. How you promised to carry on the name. How proud she was that you understood its significance. She even wrote you a letter about it. A letter? Yes, it should be in the journal. In the back pocket. She showed it to me, sealed with your name on it. A letter? There was a letter for me in the journal that Sarah now magically doesn't have. I called Mike again. "I need you to do me a favor." "Does it involve drama?" "Yes." "I'm in." God bless brothers who thrive on chaos. Mike managed to distract Mom while I searched her study. And there it was, Grandma's journal, tucked away in a filing cabinet. I opened it with shaking hands and found the letter in the back pocket, exactly where Aunt Ruth said it would be. My name was written across the envelope in Grandma's distinctive handwriting. Inside, "My dearest little Rose, if you're reading this, then I'm probably gone, and you're probably grown. I hope you still remember our garden, and our talks, and our dreams. I want you to know that the hours we spent together were the brightest spots in my final years. When your parents were struggling and you came to live with me, I thought I was doing them a favor. But truthfully, you saved me. You gave me purpose and joy and so much love. I know you'll keep your promise about Isadora Rose. I know because you understand what that name means, not just as a name, but as a connection to our history, to the women who came before us, to the strength and beauty that runs in our family. Your sister might not understand this. She's always been focused on the future, which isn't bad, but sometimes she forgets that we build our futures on the foundations of our past. You've never forgotten. When your Isadora Rose is born, and I know she will be, because you've been dreaming of her since you were so small, tell her about her great-great-great-grandmother who came here with nothing. Tell her about me and our roses. Tell her about the love that connects all the Isadoras across time. And know that I'm with you, always, in every rose that blooms. All my love, Grandma." I sat in Mom's study and cried. Then I took pictures of every page, especially the ones where Grandma had written for my little Rose's Isadora, with dates and stories and dreams. When I emerged, Mike was keeping Mom distracted in the kitchen with an elaborate story about his latest dating disaster. "Find what you needed?" he asked when I appeared. "Yeah," I said, holding up the journal. "Just taking what's mine." Mom started to protest, but I showed her the will on my phone. According to this, the journal was left to me, along with several other items that have mysteriously disappeared. My lawyer will be in touch. The silence was deafening. That night, Sarah called me 15 times. I didn't answer. She texted, "We need to talk." "No," I replied. "We needed to talk before you stole my baby name. Now we need lawyers." "Are you seriously threatening me while I'm pregnant?" "I'm not threatening you. I'm taking back what's mine. The journal, the locket, the savings bond, and the respect I should have demanded years ago. You can't just take Mom's things. They're not Mom's things. They're my things that Mom failed to give me. There's a difference." "This is all about that stupid name, isn't it?"
No, Sarah.
"It's about you going through Grandma's journal to find my baby name, lying about hearing it at a coffee shop, and then gaslighting me when I called you out. It's about a pattern of taking what isn't yours and expecting me to smile about it. I didn't steal anything. I'm honoring Grandma too, with the name I told her I'd use. The name I've been talking about for 12 years. The name you researched in her journal and then pretended to randomly discover." Silence. "I have the screenshots, Sarah. I have the timeline. I have Grandma's letter to me about Isadora Rose. And I have a lawyer." "You're really going to ruin our relationship over this?" "I'm not ruining anything. I'm done being the doormat. Use the name if you want, I can't stop you. But know that every time you call your daughter Isadora Rose, you'll remember that you stole that name. You'll remember that you valued Facebook announcements over your sister. You'll remember that you took something that wasn't yours to take. I'm your sister. Then act like it. I hung up. The family explosion was immediate and intense. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree on fire. But for the first time in my life, I didn't care about keeping the peace. Instead, I did something therapeutic. I started a blog. Letters to my future Isadora Rose. I wrote about Grandma, about the roses, about the promise. I posted the pictures from the journal, the letter, the family history. I shared it on Facebook and tagged everyone. The comments were interesting. Aunt Ruth, your grandmother would be so proud. Stand your ground, sweetheart. Cousin Emma, this is beautiful. And Sarah is wild for stealing this name. High school friend, wait, isn't this the name your sister just announced? Mike, popcorn emoji doesn't even cover this anymore. This is a whole movie theater. Sarah tried to do damage control. She posted her own status about how family names belong to the whole family and how gatekeeping names is toxic. She got about 12 likes, mostly from her husband's family who don't know the whole story. Then she made a mistake. She commented on my blog. This is revisionist history. You never cared about Grandma like you claim.
Oh.
Oh no. She did not just go there. I responded with receipts. Photos of me in Grandma's garden spanning 3 years. My high school essay about my hero, Grandma. Cards I made her every birthday and holiday. A photo of her hospital bracelet that I wore for a year after she died. The visitor log from her final hospital stay showing I was there every single day. Tell me again how I never cared? I wrote. She deleted her comment. But the internet remembers. My dad finally called yesterday. Not to apologize, but to inform me that I'm tearing the family apart. No, I said calmly. I'm setting boundaries. If the family falls apart because I won't be a doormat anymore, that says more about the family than it does about me. Your mother is beside herself. Then maybe she should have given me my inheritance instead of letting Sarah rifle through it for baby name ideas. That's not fair. None of this is fair, Dad. But I'm done prioritizing everyone else's comfort over my own. He sighed. What will it take to fix this? An apology would be a start. An acknowledgement that Sarah deliberately took something she knew was important to me. And maybe, just maybe, some recognition that I'm allowed to have feelings and boundaries. You know Sarah won't apologize. She doesn't think she did anything wrong. Then we have nothing to fix. The latest development came this morning. Sarah had her baby shower, which I obviously didn't attend. According to Mike, who went for the drama, it was awkward. Several family members asked about my absence. Sarah told them I was being difficult about the baby name. But here's the beautiful thing. Aunt Ruth, who flew in from Florida specifically for the shower, stood up during the gift opening and said, I have something special for the baby. She pulled out a beautiful hand-knitted blanket. This was made by Isadora herself, your great-great-great-grandmother. I've been saving it for the right baby. The baby who would carry her name and her legacy. Then she looked directly at Sarah and said, but since that baby isn't here yet, I'll hold on to it a little longer. I'm sure your little one will be beautiful regardless of what you call her. Mike said the silence was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Sarah apparently spent the rest of the shower trying to convince people that she didn't steal the name, that it was always her idea, that I was being unreasonable. But the seed of doubt was planted. People started remembering all the times I'd mentioned Isadora Rose. The Christmas dinner where I talked about it. The Facebook posts. The family reunion where I literally wore a name tag that said future mom to Isadora Rose. The shower ended early. Sarah texted me, I hope you're happy. You ruined my shower. No. I replied, you ruined your shower by building it on a lie. She blocked me. So here I am, at 2 a.m., no longer eating Oreos. I switched to wine somewhere around paragraph 20, wondering if I'm the asshole for dying on this hill. But then I look at Grandma's letter. I read the words, I know you'll keep your promise. I think about the roses in her garden and the strength of all the Isadoras who came before. And I realize, I'm not dying on this hill. I'm planting my flag on it. Sarah can use the name. She can tell people whatever story she wants. She can pretend she didn't steal it from her journal reading, coffee shop lying mouth. But we'll all know the truth. And someday, when I do have my daughter, my Isadora Rose, I'll tell her the whole story. About her great-great-great-grandmother, who came here with nothing but hope. About her great-grandmother who grew roses and kept promises. About how sometimes standing up for yourself means standing alone. And about how some things like names and promises and love are worth fighting for. Even if it means going to war with your sister. Especially then. Update. Since I started writing this novel, because let's be honest, that's what this turned into. 3 things have happened. My lawyer successfully retrieved Grandma's journal, the locket, and the savings bond. Mom had to sign papers acknowledging she'd misplaced them. Great Aunt Ruth has officially written Sarah out of her will and added me. She also sent me Isadora's blanket with a note. For when your real Isadora Rose arrives. Sarah posted on Facebook that she's considering changing the baby name because certain family members have made it too stressful. She's fishing for sympathy and people to tell her to keep it. I commented, "Whatever name you choose, I hope you pick it honestly this time." She deleted my comment and blocked me there too. But I don't care. Because for the first time in 27 years, I'm not backing down. I'm not keeping the peace. I'm not being the bigger person. I'm being the person who keeps her promises. And Grandma would be proud.